Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, and welcome to my last ever review of The Simpsons Tapped Out. And this is, of course, for When the Bough Breaks. So this is a new mini update that has just dropped. It's great. It's amazing. It's an amazing update. I think it's really good. 10 out of 10. Big thumbs up. Yeah, so When the Bough Breaks is, of course, mainly based around the Hudson Playdate with Destiny episode as well. Movie, I guess, as well. It's also based on the episode where Hudson, of course, returns. I think that's season 32, I believe. He comes back for an episode. So it's added 2 new characters, 1 new costume, 4 new buildings, and 2 new decorations. So we're going to be talking about all of them, and I don't have screenshots, so I'm just going to be using the wiki because I'm being lazy. So anyway, let's get into it. Like I said though, this update's great. Questline wise, I think this update has been pretty damn solid. I think the questline, I don't know, it's maybe not as good as some of the ones we got in Hell on Wheels, but I think they've been pretty solid enough. And structure, the structure. Let's get onto that. Look, maybe this is just me, but I love it when they have a structure like this. It, reminds me of the classic Tapped Out era. And, yeah, I love this structure so goddamn much. So it starts off with sand tropes. Of course, this is a decoration. Looks pretty cool. I like it for the most part, so thumbs up there for that one. Then, of course, we have Hudson's house. It's a nice enough house. It's nice to get more houses in the game. It looks pretty neat, so I'm cool with that. Big thumbs up for that one. Not responsible for injuries park. I'm going to argue, maybe this is just me, but I'm going to argue should be a building. I do think maybe it should be a building. Maybe they wanted to only restrict the prize track to 2 buildings, and that's the reason. I don't know. I mean, even sand tropes could be a building too. It's difficult with parks and stuff where you draw the line, so I can understand why they did it, made it a decoration. But I think you could make it a building if you wanted to. And then we got the jogging stroller. Nice enough, probably the worst thing in the prize track, but still doesn't mean it's bad. It's still a nice enough building. And of course, it finally concludes with Courtney. So, one thing I will say is I do think it would have been better to switch around the premium and the free character. I think it would have been better to get Hudson as the free one and Courtney as the premium one, but I realised that they want, the one that you want the most, they want to switch it around. I understand why it's this, but I don't know. I think Hudson's the one that people want more. So I personally would prefer it if it were switched around. And maybe Courtney could come with the house, Hudson's house. And, we get that, the building that Hudson comes with in the prize track. But again, like I'm saying, real tiny, small, minuscule nitpicks. They're not anything really. So yeah, I'm happy enough with this prize track. I think structure-wise, it's amazing. Characters. So, of course, we got Courtney as the free one. I think Courtney is just above meh for me. I don't think she's bad or anything. She's a bit generic, to be honest. Like, her characterization, I feel like, in this update anyway, was she's a rude snob who kind of looks down on poor people, but she does care for Lil Hudson. And that's pretty much her entire characterization. Her animations are fine, nothing amazing. I just think she's fine. Not bad though. Hudson, I think, was pretty good. I actually adore his 2 animations. And I said this in my premium gameplay. And like I said, it's such a tiny, tiny nitpick. But I kind of would have liked it if one of his animations were him standing alone from Maggie, because both of his animations do include Maggie. I realize though he is a Maggie-centric character, so it makes sense for that, but yeah, just a small, tiny little critique, I guess. Again, doesn't really mean, I don't think the character's bad or anything. I still think it's cool. It would have been maybe even like an extra epic thing if we got 3 animations. The 2 with Maggie and then like 1 standalone one. That could have been like, that would have made me be like Hudson, best character of the year. But as he stands, I think Hudson is a very good character. I think both of his animations are some of the best animations we've got in years. Do not get me wrong, but Yeah, so I'm very happy with Hudson. But there's one more thing we need to talk about in this realm, and of course, that's the costume we got. Big Baby Barney. So, what can I say about this one? Well, I think Big Baby Barney is, honestly, not so bad. I think his animations are a bit crappy. I'm not a big fan of including a raccoon in one of his animations. The other one's fine, I guess, but, yeah. The one where he's like a baby is pretty funny, but I just would have liked it with that raccoon one if they switched it around. It was just him like chasing his diaper in the wind. But I don't think he's the worst. I think he's one of the better super premium items we've got in a long time. Look, they're gonna carry on doing super premium. We're gonna have to tolerate it, and I think seeing as we have to tolerate it, we may as well praise them for when they do a good one. And I think this one is a decent one. I don't think it's the worst thing ever. You know, we're getting a pretty cool costume for a character, you know, a big-ish character, and I realize Barney is premium anyway, but I feel like if you're going to be buying the super premiums, you probably already have Barney, because he's a, you know, he's a character most people get early-ish on. And as well as that, it's not just a costume, like with the Radiation Homer and, you know, Wilbur Nurple and all these terrible ones we got in the past. You're also getting a building with it. Now, Lullaby, I don't think is the best amazing buildings. We'll get onto that in a minute. But, you know, it's still a building costume combo, which is a step in the right direction. I would actually not mind it as much if they carried on doing this. If, like, for example, we got a character building combo with the Super Premium. For $8.99, it's not the worst deal in the world. You know, you're getting a bunch of donuts and you're also getting a free character. Well, I say free, but you know, you're getting a character and a building, or a costume and a building as well. I think it's a step in the right direction, is my point. So, and plus you also get the Shattered Dreams tokens too. So yeah, I think super premiums have been getting better lately. So I still don't like super premiums, don't get me wrong, but I just think this is it's a better deal, is what I'm trying to say. Just going to briefly talk about the buildings, because I've already pretty much talked about them. Hudson's house, like it. Pretty cool. Looks really nice, actually. Looks, yeah, pretty snazzy. So, and I always love to have houses, so that one's a big thumbs up. Jogging Strollery, already said, it's probably the worst building we got, but definitely not a bad building. A shut by, you know, I say it's the worst building if I had to rank them, but still a pretty nice building. The Center for Preemptive Education, I think, looks nice. It is a bit similar to the building we got with Leopold. I forget what it was called, but that building, it does look, I don't know, it kind of, I know it's a different colour, but it's something about the shape of it and the sort of little road that comes around. I don't know, it reminds me of that, but it doesn't mean I don't like it. I still like the building. And Lullaby, like I said, probably the second worst building, but it's nothing that looks too amazing. But, you know, it makes sense to come with the Big Baby Barney, so I'm happy enough that it wasn't like an extra price to get the building too. You know, it was done in a combo, which was nice. So, yeah, and we'll just talk briefly about the decorations. So, obviously, 2 decorations. We've got the Santropes, which I like, and the Not Responsible for Injuries Park, which I like. One tiny critique about that one, though, is when I did my idea video, I broke up the park a bit. So, I had the actual park, and then I added the train track as, like, a separate prize. Now, you might be saying, well, you know, they've condensed it, so it makes sense. But something about it, I feel like it should be a bit bigger. The train track in the episode kind of made me feel, or in the movie, I should say, it was a short film, wasn't it? In the film, I don't know, I imagined the train track as quite big. So I sort of said, oh, they should probably add the train track and the little station as separate items to the park. And I think I stand by that, to be honest, because it does look a bit it looks incredibly small in the thing. And again, this is such a minor critique, but I think it's fine because they've done this so many times in the past where they've condensed buildings, so yeah, and decorations. But like I said, I again, if I want to try and pick holes in this update, that's another thing. Well, that's pretty much it though for When the Bough Breaks. So I have spoken a little bit about negative points, but don't sort of take that to think that I don't like this update or anything. I love this update. I just prefer it when I talk about negatives of an update, because when I'm just talking all positive, it's a bit draining for me. So, yeah, those are my negatives. But I think the negatives are really nothing. The positives all outweigh this update. This is the best update we've got in a long ass time. And I mean that I really do mean that. It's such a refreshing update to get, for sure. It's a shame that it's the last update I'm going to review. So anyway, thanks for watching. Well, I ended it with a bang, so that's nice. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me your thoughts on this update, and I shall see you in the next one. Good bizzle.